Hello, everyone. Welcome to Collingwood Connection. I'm Will, one of your hosts, and I'm also joined by Fossil down there in Melbourne town. Welcome, Fossil. This is our video channel for the Collingwood Football Club. We're just a couple of fanatics. Fossil's been a bit of a supporter for a lot longer than myself, so way back in 1956. Welcome, Fossil.
Thank you, William. Yeah, we've followed the Pies. Have been lucky enough for 60 odd years. No, they're a good club. They're a good team, and all the fans are very enthusiastic. And no, it'll be great to do the show, and hopefully we get a good response, William.
Yeah, well, hopefully a couple more steps better than last year, Fossil, after that heartbreaking prelim final loss. But Fossil, yeah, like I said, 1956, technically he's witnessed four flags. So, well done, Fossil. A few grand finals. We don't have to go through all of those, but I'm sure there's many more happy memories with the Magpies along the way. Yeah, I haven't seen as many as yourself. I've got a couple of grand finals to be happy about. There's always up and about the pies and always making sure we got plenty to talk about, AFOS.
Exactly right, William. Yeah, no, they're a good club, and I think we've still got over 100,000 members, and I'm sure we'll get a few more on board. So hopefully, 2026 can be a successful season for the Pies.
Yeah, number 17, record-breaking flags. That'd be quite nice, Fossils. So, all right. Yeah, well, we're just getting into a bit of chat this week about our season predictions. It's that time of year. We're only, less than 3 weeks away, Fossil now. So, practice game tomorrow, of course. I think it's in Bundura down your way, Fossil. You'll probably be working, but yeah, the boys will have a good practice game against the Giants tomorrow. But our season predictions for where we think the Magpies will finish, the Copeland Trophy, leading goal kicker, and best young player we think for this year. So we'll start off with that then, Fossil. I'm sure you've done your ladder predictor, as a lot of people have. Where do you see the Magpies finishing this year, and maybe just roughly how many wins they'll need?
Yeah, I think they'll get into the top eight. Well, I've got us finishing about seventh, depending on injuries, like most clubs. If we can get a good run with our injuries and the younger guys step up, so I've got us finishing about seventh on the ladder. Because I know most years, the sides do improve a bit, but like I said, if we can keep our injuries down and get our full list on the park, that'll be handy. And hopefully, a few of the younger kids, when they get their chance, and you never know. Well, we could have another Pendlebury side bottom just sitting there in the younger group. So yeah, so it should be good. Should be good to see. So I think I think it's about seventh.
Fair enough. I'd love to be as optimistic as yourself. I think we might be thankful that they did bring in a ninth and tenth, technically finals. It's apparently not exactly finals, but the playoff rounds. I've done the ladder predictor a couple of times and tried not to be biased, but I did have us finishing 10th. That would mean it would be in that uh, playoff round against whoever finished seventh on the ladder. But yeah, so it's going to be very interesting come towards the end of the year. I know that they say we're old and too slow, but you got to remember last year, at one stage we'd had, 14, 15 wins on the board and only a couple of losses. So, if they get to that sort of point, it's obviously going to be hard to get to that sort of success they had last year. But I think with a good mix of those senior players available and a couple of these young ones coming through, that we probably need to get more games into the likes of Charlie West and Ed Allen. It's just yeah, Will Parker, one of my favorites, Will Parker. So with these older players not being able to play all 22, 23 games, we can get a bit more experience in, but they can definitely add something to this mix. So write us off at your peril. I'm very happy that a few people are jumping off the bandwagon. Your mate Kane Corn. So yeah, no, I'm going to say 10th. I'll be a modest Collingwood supporter, still making finals, and you never know what happens from there. So I reckon 10th Fossil. But with our next one we'll look at is the Copeland Trophy. There's a little man by the name of Nick Dacos who probably already has one hand on there, touch wood, with injuries and all that, but he's an absolute freak. Absolutely love having a little master in the team. But minus Nick Dacos, who do you think's going to take out the Copeland this year?
Well, I think it'll be a Dacos, but I think it might be his brother will.
Yeah,
He's
he's
Aussie
done
boy, he's playing really good football, and I think with the way they're set up now, depending on Macquarie, I suppose. But I think if he goes into the midfield a bit more, he'll get a lot more possessions. He's under the umpire's eye a lot. I just like the way he's playing. I think he's had a really good pre-season, uninterrupted. So I think Joshy, if they put him in the middle, then he can play off half back, and give the boys in the centre a chop out. I think he'd be a great chance.
Yeah, no,
So
he
I'll go for
was.
Joshy.
He's won it before, 2023, when we famously won that equaling flag. So, no, I think he's a good chance, and definitely going to be mixing more through the midfield. Probably depends on how our back half is going. I think Pendlebury definitely slots into half back to fill that hole in the meantime. But I mean, he'll probably switch back and forth, like you said. So, I'm hoping for a fit and firing Jordan De Goey for me. Fossil is a bit of a not an outsider, but I guess we haven't seen his best consistently. He's had injuries and other issues, but we know he's a game breaker. We can thank him for that 2023 flag, and he's a proven player in finals. So he knows how to play in the big time, and he's had a nice preseason. Touch wood, everything else goes fine. But I think if he's up and firing, yeah, he's definitely going to be a difference maker this year. So that'd be Jordan De Goey for me. And I'll lead us into the next one, the leading goal kicker for 2026. It's very hard to go past a little man named Jamie Elliott. So I did cheat with this one, Fossil. I did a 1-2. I think Elliott's going to win it. I just don't see, he's so dangerous. He's good on the lead. He can mark for 177 centimeters. He can jump and mark the ball, like he's playing on a tool. So I just think Jamie's a whole package, and at his career best, 33 odd years old, 32, had a career best season. So awesome work there by Jamie. And my smoky for that, I guess, is Jack or Mount Buller, whatever you want to call him. New player coming in, but he's got all the attributes of a big key forward that we've been missing. So I think Buller, he might be up there, but it's hard to go past Jamie Elliott. And what about yourself?
Yeah, no, I actually took JB Elliott, but I think, well, yeah, he had a great season last year. I think what they'll probably do is they'll probably have a good even spread, I think, and I think that's what the coach likes. It just makes it hard. Like if they mark one player, somebody can get off the leash. And I think, like you said, with Buller, what he's 24, 199 centimetres. So if we can get him and McStay firing up forward and take a few grabs and then bring the little players into the ground. I think it'll be a good even spread, but yeah, I just like the way Elliot played last year. He was just unbelievable. So I don't think we're going to have a lot of high goal kickers, but I think if we can get good even spread across the park, I think that'll make us a bit more dangerous.
Well, that seems to be working. Going back to 2018, how many spread of goal kickers we had? I think 50 odd goals was the top, but you had about another three or four players within, 48 down to high 30s. And same thing in our premiership year, it's gonna miss my check. One of our favourites. He's just an absolute workhorse. But
Yeah.
I just think that, like you said, when they come together, and it's gonna be hard at the start of the season. I'll talk about him later, but Bobby Hill, he's been one of those contributors as well, and we missed him, as a lot of Collingwood people and AFL supporters know, towards the end of last year. So if they can keep the spread even and make the opposition, keep them guessing a lot more, I think it's going to make their forward line very dangerous. So that's fair enough. They're Fossil, and we'll look at the best young player. So 22 or under, we've got a little bit of a rule with this one, but for 2026, who's your best young player you're looking forward to see?
I think Prindle William is going to be the best. I saw a few highlights. I tell you what, he's well built for his age, very solid, raking left footer like the fossil. So William, he'll be dead-eyed dick around the goals. But no, he looks ready made. He looks really solid, and yeah, I just like the way he moves. He's in and under, and he seems to. I think he handballs both hands pretty well, and he's got good connection with the group, and he gets rid of the ball quickly. Doesn't seem to get caught, so. I reckon he might be a surprise starter at the start of the season, will you?
Well, that'd be nice. We'll see how it goes with the practice games, and of course, it's an unofficial one with GWS, and then I think we follow up with North Melbourne. Is that Ballarat? Is it Foss or?
I think it might be, William. I'm not
Yeah, that way.
100%
So
certain.
yeah, so
But
that'll be interesting to see some of the young players get in there and have a crack. I'll talk about the GWS practice match in a bit, but yeah, no, Printable it looked very exciting, and it looked like Collingwood really did recruit the bigger body. Angry Angus Anderson, as they say, he looks like he's ready to go at
excuse me,
22.
yeah.
Yeah, 22
Yeah.
years old. He's big bodies, so. Yeah, no, I'm very excited about some of these kids coming through, and soon enough we're going to have to move on with the old stock and get the new stock in Fossil. But we'll yeah, sorry, just one sec. Yeah, so my best young player, we have missed him a lot, and I'll rotate this into the next question. Who we're most excited to see, and also 22 and under was Harvey Harrison. Missed a lot of footy, obviously. Missed all last season with the big injury, but. Look, as a pressure forward, as someone that you want there, at the feet of the big fellas. He's only played the 16 games for 14 goals so far, so a lot to improve on. He looks like a big body now, so yeah, no, he's looking like an absolute jet. Yeah, so very very much looking forward to see how Harvey Harrison has come through and player you're most excited to see Fossil for this year.
Excuse me, William. Yeah, probably Houston, like they paid big money for him, and like most of the players, the first year for some reason I don't know why they struggled. Well, I don't know whether it's just getting used to the game plan, getting used to the players, the different style of game. But Schultz was the same, wasn't he? The first year he struggled a bit, but then he's come really good. So I'm hoping that Houston can really step up because I think that's going to help us a lot. Like with the list aging a little bit. I think these sort of guys, the Perrymans and those sort of blokes, if they can take the next step, it's going to be a big help for us. So I'm just hoping that he can recapture his form of old will and give the Pies a real good kick on. But I'm not quite sure where they're going to play him. Well, whether they're going to play him on the half-back flank or further up the ground, because as you know, he can kick him from a mile. So it'll be just interesting to see where they do play him. But I'm just hoping that he follows suit like Schultz did and has a really good year this year, and it'll help us go a long way towards finals.
Yeah, no, exactly. Seemed like he struggled, but I think that's also got to do with a lot of expectation he had at Port Adelaide. He had to, lead from the front. He won games off his own boot. So when you come into a team environment that comparing Collingwood to Port Adelaide of the year before, you know, Collingwood were obviously a bit more settled and we probably didn't require as much out of him, but that's probably finding that balance between going forward and attacking, or is he more wing based and driving the ball down forward? And he can also help out in defence. So he's an absolute weapon. I'm glad we have him. But yeah, like Lockie Schultz and players like that to come in, it might take you a season or so to really fit
Yeah,
into the mold. And look at Schultz now; he's one of the fan favourites, and I love his work. So yeah,
he's
no, very much looking forward to what Houston can bring this year. And we'll quickly skip over this Fossil, just with the practice match coming tomorrow. Bo McCreary, well, it looks like he's going to play Fossil, even though he's recovering from that foot surgery since last November. I reckon he might be still touch and go for round zero. I think he's too good a player to risk, but if he keeps playing well, he did in the intra club last week, got a lot of the footy. He was only played about a third of the game itself. So yeah, no, I think he's going to be very important and touch and go, I guess, for the round. But Jeremy Howe, another setback for us, really struggling with his leg issues of the calf again. And I think they also said maybe a bit of issues with the hamstring. So what do you think? A modified program, maybe Jordan to go like from last year, just to get him cherry ripe for the second half of the season?
Yeah, well, I think they'll have to. Well, like I was just having a look, and like McGuinness has been playing down back, and I think he's the sort of guy, that probably needs to step up and probably take one of the key positions. He's 194 centimetres, so I think he can step in, and probably Frampton will probably have to play for more because he's out. But like if they get their chance, they got to grab their chance, take their chance as well. And I think McGuinness and those sort of places. But what's Howley 30, 35? So yeah, they've got to be careful with him. Make sure that they get him 100% right. And if he does miss three or four, well, as long as they get him right, and he might be a bit fresher, so he doesn't have to play every game. But hopefully, a few of these younger ones, the young backmen, can step up and take his place. And I think Big Smith, I think he came as a ruckman, but I think he's been playing down back a lot of the time too. Will so I think with the trial games, and we'll see how they go. But McGuinness and those sort of blokes, they've got a chance. Cochrane, so if they play well, I'm sure they'll get rewarded.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want, people pushing for positions in the team. I'll quickly roll through these last couple before we wrap up. First, the Bobby Hill, like I said earlier, let's hope he can return in 2026. We will miss him. The likes of Harvey Harrison, Will Hayes, Jai Saxena looks like a debutant in the making, very quick and that electric pace that we're really going to miss without Bobby. So hopefully these guys, we know Lockie Schultz and McCreary are going to put the pressure on, but we just need these guys to step up and keep that ferocious attack on the footy. And the one you mentioned, Darcy Moore, very hopeful for the captain to be out there. I reckon he's going to do everything in his power to put his hand up, but yeah, touch and go again. If it's not worth risking in round zero, Collingwood don't seem to do too crash hot with this round zero thing, Foss. So
No, I
yeah,
don't
so
worry about it.
so I'm hoping that yeah, he can put his hand up and be ready to go. But if he's not, 1 or 2 weeks, I don't think will hurt as much as yeah, we will miss him. So and just to finish off here, for the folks here, Fossil was for the next episode, we will look at our round zero team predictions against the Saints. That's on Sunday, March 5 at the MCG. No doubt they'll even though they request it, people complain about how much we play at the MCG, but that's just because we can pack it out. So, that's just what it is. The Magpies army, and yeah, well, what do you want to do with that for us? Do you want to? We'll do the round zero ones next week, or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. But like you said, like they will go quick because we play so many games there. But it's all about the dollar now. Well, like St Kilda want to play there if it's their home game. They're going to make money, and everybody wants to play the Pies there because it's the biggest stadium. So you can see where they're coming from. But it's not the Pies' fault that they all want to play them there. They get their wishes at the start of the year, and that's just the way it is. And if you're good enough, you win anywhere, will you?
yeah, that's exactly right. And we're not a bad travelling side either, as we saw last year's qualifying finals. So. All right, and yeah,
Exactly.
well, thanks everyone, whether Collingwood supporters or not. Thank you for watching, and we will look forward to hearing your thoughts, and we'll try and get back to each and every one of you. Fossil thinks he's pretty much an expert himself, so I'm sure he'll be happy to respond to a couple of you. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We encourage your thoughts and opinions. We'll try to respond to all of you, like I said, and our socials are early days, but you'll find them under our name, Collingwood Connection on Instagram or X, which is known as Twitter Fossil, the former Twitter. You can also email us at collingwoodconnection1@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, go Pies. Hopefully a big year ahead. Cheers, Foss.
Yeah, cheers, Will. Go Pies.
Go Pies. See ya.
See ya.